Hi, this will be my last topic on HC and HV, unequivocally proving that they shouldn't be used together. I can finally start talking about builds and stuff. So the way you got to think about this is HC, it's a fucking arbiter, dude, okay? It's an arbiter prowling around trying to keep a young scum down, trying to arrest him on a minor stim charge. It's messed up. So, for no reason at all, we're going to be testing on 2 Ragers, 2 Shotgunners, 4 Melee Renegades, and a Crusher. Okay, composure, composure. So, this is only with HV, and as you can see, it takes 8 seconds. Now, I would like to break this down. Well, technically 7, but this guy, we'll talk about this. So I would like to break this down. So right here, if I had HC, this guy would die, which means he's not a potential target for HV down the line, and that becomes a big deal here in a second. So right here, this guy gets mega overkilled. You can see the DPS is way higher here, this initial hit. This guy would have been dead, which means I wouldn't be able to get this hit, which this hit did way more damage than it shows. It doesn't show overkill. And you can tell that because of that kill that I only got because no HC, this did a shit ton of damage because of this right here. Boom. This dude is in fucking major trouble in Little Chai-Wan. And the fucking trouble is this gigantic crit I just got, and the little is his remaining health bar. And none of that happens with HC. So right there, that guy would die with HC. But this is where the central conflict comes from. Is this guy dying from HC a good thing? Go ahead, write in the comments right now. Do you think it would be a good thing? Well, no, because now I get this hit, which that probably just crit that guy for like 3,000 because it just came off of another instant kill. So I probably have, like if I get a crit here on this next hit, I probably have like another 4K crit stored up in the bank. 2 of those would not have happened if I had HC to kill them for me. Also, this only took 8 seconds, which is faster than 9. Just, you know, quick maths. So this is HC and HV together. Now, let me explain why these aren't particularly good. So we try to get HC value by instantly taking a free kill. Okay. That's a target we can't use later, but whatever. Now, this is where everything goes wrong for HC and HV together. Both of these guys dying here, huge fuck up. Tremendous mistake. So now, like right here, this guy would have had 70 health left. Perfect target to get HV on. This guy would have been a moderate candidate. And now I get like 0 bonus damage versus this guy. So instead of just like killing him in 2 hits like I did in the previous clip, now I kind of got to waddle over and get another guy. And you can see how much more awkward this is. So in this clip, HC straight up stopped me from going faster. It would have been faster to just not use HC like I did in the first clip. It would have been like 33% faster. So let's talk about with Rampage. Does Rampage change this at all? Well, no. So right here, HC procced on that guy, which I could have just done a follow-up hit and got HV going. So now I have no HV. Okay, I kill this guy. Then I get this hit. Now, reminder, if we go back, if instead of that guy dying to HC, I just did, you know, a second follow-up hit, I would have then had like a hyper mega super critical that could have hit any one of these guys for a ton of damage that would have given me like the god critical on this guy. So again, HC just straight up slowed this clip down. And I know it slowed this clip down because as you could see, this took about 9 seconds. But if we take HC away and we only use HV, because those guys didn't die to any potential HC shenanigans, I know we didn't crit, so they wouldn't have died anyways, but the fact that they didn't even have a chance to die there means I know, like, if that had crit, this dude would have been in catastrophic trouble in the little back office in Fat Shark's building, you know? He would have just been eviscerated. And as you can see, if we discount the first, when does the first actual hit happen? So the first hit happens like 0.3 picoseconds before 1. You could say this took 5 or 6 seconds. It was, again, about 33% faster to just not use HC. And again, one other thing I'd like to mention, there's no mental stack like this. You don't have to think, oh, well, did HC proc on that guy or did I overkill him? There's none of that. It's just, I hit the guy, he didn't die, he's about to die, I hit him again, now I know I have HV going. There's no, like, oh, did I hit that guy and did HC kill him? Or do I have HV going and did that kill him? There's 0 mental stack. All you need to think about is that guy didn't die. I hit him again. He's going to die. And now I do super damage on the next hit. There's no Psychanium conditions. If anything, HCHV benefits more from testing in Psychanium conditions like this than just going HV does. It's a ridiculous argument. Okay, now I'd like to talk about this kind of thing. So in this example, HC actually does help me a little bit. Or does it? So as you can see, HC procs on this guy. But, you know, I'm not like a dog. I'm smart enough to recognize, wait a second. If I hit an elite with a crit and it doesn't die, it's right on death's door. So now I can't go hit that guy for more damage. So we kill the Crusher, kill this guy, and now we're left with nothing to go off of. But I would just like to point out, this also takes like 9 seconds. So even with Rampage, HC is still slower to combine with HV. It still would be theoretically better to just go HV. I don't even want to say theory. That's like saying evolution is a theory, you know? It's like a theory that's so easy to prove, it might as well not be a theory anymore. And then I would just like to point out this potential situation. In this clip, HC literally doesn't proc. The HC's not doing anything, doesn't proc on anyone. We're not getting any value from it. And okay, that was cool, but it literally didn't do anything, so why even take it? And then again, to prove to you I'm not cherry picking, here's a different weapon with much more crit. And you can still see that HC literally did nothing. And by the way, as a result, this clip was 7 seconds, still faster than 9. You can see the TAC-Axe clip was 12 seconds. This was like 7. It's faster to just, one, not use the TAC-Axe. That not nearly as good as the shivs. It's faster to just, like, ignore HC entirely. And I'd like to dig a little deeper, like the one guy in Hellraiser says. So right here. So this guy, like, imagine you do this, right? Again, this is not like a theoretical Psychanium situation or anything. This is just like, okay, I hit a trash mob, and it didn't die. Okay, well, if I hit it again with a crit, it's definitely gonna die. Or if I do, like, a heavy or something, well, no, HC's gonna steal this kill. So if I had done a heavy here, he would have overkilled. And yes, I'm aware that HC wouldn't steal this if I overkilled it, but the point is, if I just did 3 lights back to back, I would have gotten insane damage. So this light, let's say it doesn't kill him and it leaves him with 43. Well, we know I would have gotten 400 overkill on this guy had I not used HC here and just done a follow-up attack. That 400 overkill, 25% of that, you know, would have been like 100 damage or whatever. And then that can get crit, that can get multiplied by finesse, and then that now gives me like 600-700 damage extra on the next hit, and it just becomes ridiculous. So another thing I'd like to talk about is this idea that there is like cycles where you're really weak, you're down here, and then you're really strong up here. Well, as we can see with like this, those cycles only last about a second. They're only lasting 1 swing because with no HC, so like right here, I'm in a low cycle and this low cycle has been extended by HC. Because I couldn't just hit these guys and then do a follow-up hit to start doing like 3-4K plus with HV, my low cycle has now been extended by at least another hit. I need at least another hit that's going to do overkill, and you can see this is where the biggest time loss comes in. Whereas with just HV, where is it? Right here. These guys don't die. I just do 1 more attack. Now I do like quadruple damage versus the Crusher and one-shot everything else. And that train just never stops. So HC is debt for HV. You are taking from the future to get a better result right now. If you just instead do 1 more initial attack and start the HV train, you never have those low points. It self-smooths it out. It's like you would only think that there's low points, like there's an issue here, because you've created the issue and are trying to convince yourself that the thing causing the problem is the solution to the problem the thing itself has created. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say about this. If you still disagree that you should use these together, you think that, then you're just kind of in your own feelings at that point, I feel like. It's very easily provable that they shouldn't be used together. That I feel like you'd more or less be trying to set out to make yourself seem right, you know? It's one of those things where you just, it feels, you're feely crafting at that point is the word I'm looking for. Where it's like, you know, you want it to be right, so you like try to, in your head, make it sound right. But yeah, I can now talk about builds and weapons and stuff.